Hello, my name is Carlos Ferreira, and for my further oral activity, I analyzed two political cartoons. A political cartoon is an illustration designed to convey a social and political message relating to a current event or issue. I decided to analyze two political cartoons relating to the ongoing issue of gun control in America. I chose this issue because I believe it's very important, not only to Americans but to the civilians of the world. Over the past few decades, America has had thousands of mass shootings resulting in millions to thousands of deaths, and therefore I believe the next step should be carefully planned as it can save future deaths. During his mandate, President Obama has tried, but Congress failed to make a legislation that would help to regulate guns and their usage. When looking at other countries that do have legislations that regulate guns and their usage, they do not have the same problems as America has. They do not have the same shootings nor the same deaths, and therefore I believe that America should make a legislation that will help to regulate guns and their usage, as this would save future lives. As I've mentioned before, this is a very important topic, and I chose to analyze these two political cartoons regarding the topic. The first political cartoon can be found in the famous newspaper Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. In the first political cartoon, we can see a man walking on a pavement while looking at a cell phone with a graveyard behind him. The cartoon does not have a title. However, it uses labels in order to help the reader understand the cartoon better and its deeper meaning. The man is wearing a hat and glasses, and the initials USA are on his shirt. This serves to identify and label the man as the American society as a whole. The cartoonist also labels the graveyard as victims of gun violence. This label serves to identify and label all the tombstones of the dead people behind the character as people that died from gunshots or anything related to guns. The only phrase and the most important phrase of the cartoon is another American killed by terrorists. This madness needs to stop. The usage of the word another implies that this victim was not the first, which is absolutely true when looking at the past decade, for example. The character says that the fact that they killed one man is madness, but behind him lay thousands to millions of tombstones of people that died from gunshots and gun violence in which the character did not make any reference to or show any emotion towards. The phrase also shows that the man is focused on an event that is happening outside of his own country, rather than focusing on events such as the mass shootings that are happening in America. In the cartoon, we can only see one facial expression, which belongs to the American man. As he's reading the cell phone, as he's reading the news on his cell phone that an American man has been killed, his face is very disgusted and worried, as he's very disgusted regarding the fact that an American man has been killed, and worried about the continuity of this issue that will affect future lives. Also, in a political cartoon, normally a character has exaggerated features, which clearly happens in this cartoon, as the nose of the character is very, very big. The cartoon does not talk about one specific event, but talks about a whole ongoing issue and a series of events, which is the gun control issue, as I've previously said. The cartoonist with this cartoon, the cartoonist means that the American society is ignoring the deaths of the victims of gun violence, as they have the back turned to the graveyard, which is labeled as deaths of gun violence. The cartoonist also implies that the American society should also focus more on events that are happening inside of their own country, such as the mass shootings, instead of focusing on the terrorism that is happening outside of the country. A statistic which relates to this cartoon is the fact that since the foundation of ISIS in 2013, they have only killed 3 men, and as of October 2nd, 2015, there had been 294 shootings in 274 days. This means that there have been more shootings than days in America until the 2nd of October. This cartoon does not directly talk about gun control, but it talks about the issue indirectly. If there had been gun control and if the American society wouldn't ignore the deaths, then there wouldn't be so many deaths of people that died from gun violence. If the government had made a legislation, then the number of tombstones wouldn't be as large as it is, because it's obviously exaggerated in the cartoon, the number of deaths. The second cartoon talks about the same topic, but makes a reference to ISIS. ISIS was founded in 2013, and it has spread terrorism all over the world, specifically across Europe in the month of November, as they confessed to the attacks in France. ISIS was created in a US prison camp in Iraq, which means that ISIS do not particularly like US a lot, as the foundation members of ISIS were in a US prison camp. I will explain the reference to ISIS later. In the background of the cartoon, we can see 2 different territories. The one on the right only has 2 men, and they're holding a flag which says ISIS, and they're saying no need to attack America. The territory on the left, however, has a lot of characters shooting each other. Some are lying on the floor bleeding, or some are holding a gun shooting at the others. The cartoon does not have a title, however it uses labels, once again, to help the viewer understand the cartoon better and its deeper meaning. The two characters on the right are holding a flag labeled as ISIS, which serves to identify and label the 2 characters as members of ISIS, and the territory that they're occupying as ISIS. America, however, does not have a label, but through the shape of the territory and the reference to America on the phrase of the ISIS members, we can assume and identify the left territory as America. In the American territory, as I've said before, we can see several characters shooting at each other, some lying on the floor and some bleeding. The phrase of the ISIS members saying "no need to attack America" implies that the American society and characters are already attacking each other, which they are through the killings. And in America, we have the words "bang," "bam," and "pow," which serve to identify gunshots that they're firing at each other. In the cartoon, we cannot see any facial expressions. We can only see body expressions. Even though we can see 2 faces, we can see the 2 faces of the ISIS members. One is covered, and one has a very large beard and is wearing a white dress, which identifies them as Islamic members also. And some of the American characters are dressed as police, which serves to identify another current issue that is happening in America, which is a police brutality. When identifying body expressions, we can see that the 2 ISIS members are firmly standing, holding the flag, while the American society and characters are all over the place, shooting at each other. Some on the floor bleeding, some standing up, which serves to also show the violence and the chaos that is happening in America. The cartoon does not talk about a specific event, but it talks about a lot of events put together and an ongoing issue, which is gun control. The cartoonist believes that America are attacking themselves. I got to this conclusion through the phrase of the ISIS terrorist members that say, "no need to attack America." Since the character said "no need to attack America," this is because America is being attacked. as I previously said, ISIS was created in a U.S. prison camp, so why wouldn't they want to attack America? The only reason why they wouldn't want to attack America is because with all this chaos, with all the shooting of the American characters, we can specifically assume that America is already attacking themselves and killing themselves. The cartoon also serves to identify the chaos and the violence that is happening in America. When comparing both cartoons, we can conclude that they both talk about the gun control in America. Both of them do not talk about the topic directly. The first cartoon talks about the topic indirectly, and so does the second. Both cartoons do not have a title. However, both cartoons use labels to help the reader and the viewer understand the cartoon better. Instead of talking about one specific event, both cartoons talk about a series of events, an ongoing issue. In my opinion, the second cartoon is more effective, as it states that it implies that America are attacking themselves, whereas the first cartoon merely ignores the deaths of the victims of gun violence. Both of them spread the message effectively, that there should be gun control and there should be legislations to create gun control. And yes, thank you for your attention. Hope you enjoyed my FOA. Thank you.